was growing up, I always known it to be like Frank's Channel. But over time, um, listening to some of the older people, they had a different name for it, Kataini, which means that it's flowing through the willows. And means, it's a base word for willows. And Tainli means flowing through. Was a very common place to fish for the community, and there would be hundreds of nets there, and just set really close to each other because that was the main staple for the community all summer long. Kalaga is a tool that you can weave the twine into a fishnet, literally from scratch, the same way that they would do with the willow bark, and you can use it for repairing too. Kalaga in that way is using that metaphor to describe UNDRIP, the United Nations implementation for the rights of Indigenous peoples, was that we look at it as a fishnet. So when that net is cast onto a country and they adopt it, that's when you start to see some of the tears that start to show up, because what should have been going on, the net kind of catches the gaping holes that it starts to get. Those areas are places where you are kind of left behind. And the object of the Kalaga story is to ensure that we have a tool that we can use to fix the tears in the net. And that tool today is a recognition that's very important of the shortcomings that have been going on for centuries, as well as a beginning of true dialogue and participation in the economy, the education, and health, including reconciliation. How do we strengthen and develop relationships so that it's reconciling the things that have been the trajectory until today, that it should actually be including the indigenous peoples in the countries that UNDRIP is being implemented. The onus is on us kind of to raise the awareness, to communicate what UNDRIP is about. It's not something that should be dividing people. It should be something that brings people together for real dialogue. Now, it might not be perfect, but we have the ability to make agreements. An agreement is really a big reconciliation document anyways, and the chapters are the areas where the tears are. And so whatever we develop is something that we can share as a country, something that's meaningful, but we want to kind of do it together. But we wanted to do it standing on our own feet, on our own lands, in our language, in our culture and way of life.